Hey everybody, this is Eve from the Manifest University. And before we get started, I want to let you know that there's a link in the description of this live to my brand new Manifest Financial Freedom crash course. So if you're interested in that, there is the link for the taking. Please let me know in the box below if the audio drops out so I can repeat what I just said. There's been a couple of audio dropouts in these lives. So I teach manifestation. I teach it in a little different way than you might be used to, than maybe the books that you've read or the forums that you're on, or maybe you've taken meditation courses or weekend retreats. And all of those are great. Nothing against them. I just teach a little differently. All these things that we teach, no matter who you are, is all about changing your feelings. And it's really important to change them in a very deep sense. Okay, so most of the clients that come to me tell me that they feel stuck, that they're on repeat. No matter what they do, they always end up in the same place in the end. Like they think they're choosing a new person for love, or they think they're choosing a new job, that's going to be different, maybe even a new position with different people, and they always end up in the same place. And that's really frustrating, especially when you're working so hard at making changes in your life and really doing the work, doing the reading and taking courses, and you got to wonder, but why? Why do I always end up in the same place? So what I teach and what I tell all of my students is that you have to shift your paradigm. To this, basically, you would learn tools that are about the law of attraction. So they are things that help you change your feelings so that you can, in fact, draw to you what it is you really want deep down inside you. Okay, so the idea is that if you looked at your life like a topographical map and you looked at all of your choices and how they all ended up in the same place, basically you'd see a bunch of patterns. Okay, and even the healthiest person in the world has some patterns, right? Hey guys, I want to let you know there's a bunch of eyeballs coming in and out of here. There's a link to my brand new Manifest Financial Freedom crash course there in the description of this live. So if that's something that you're interested in working on, changing your finances, boom, there's a link for you. So paradigm shifting is actually changing your feelings deep down inside you permanently. So all of the exercises that you'll learn no matter where you go are really about changing those feelings. The problem is that some of those exercises are great for a certain period of time, but as soon as somebody says something negative to you or you witness something negative, or maybe, let me know, guys, what happened to you today? Like, were you on the road and you had traffic and then all of a sudden you're frustrated and you lose that good feeling that you may have gotten if you meditated this morning, or something like that. So the idea here is that if you don't recognize your patterns and actually go back to the very beginning and change where it came from, and that is changing your belief system, right? And your beliefs are all based on how you feel about things. So it's like if you're in the fork in the road and you believe that if you make a left, that road will be more lit and safe, then that's the choice you make, right? Because you feel safer over there. But, that could be a farce, right? That could be a trick. So the idea is to start recognizing where did you play out these patterns. And the idea is to get rid of the patterns and then also do the different tools of the law of attraction, teaches visualization, writing down things you want, and then sky's the limit and things can happen really fast. So usually my students come to me, they are in class for the first day, which is very, very long day, and they're so jazzed that they can kind of hold on to that feeling for a couple weeks, right? It's a little different for everybody, but what happens is they get what they want really fast, like we're talking about hours or a day, and then all of a sudden they lose it. So I want to tell you a little story about a client that I had, because I think this will, really show you what I'm talking about. So a client, really it was a friend. I had moved to Venice Beach into this really cool house. It had a pool in the back. It was a heated pool, so there you go. All my friends came over in the dead of winter, and we were jumping in and could crank that thing all the way up, and it had a swim spa and all these great things. This pool is fantastic. The best thing that ever happened to us for a few years. So I called a friend of mine who lived just around the corner, and I told her, I was like, hey, you're never going to believe this. I moved into this house in Venice, and I'm around the corner from you. She's like, what? Oh my God, didn't even know you were doing that. Well, kind of happened overnight, and it's something I manifested, in fact. So moved in, and she came on over. I said, bring your swimsuit, let's hang out at the pool. And really what she did was she came over and she started helping me unpack boxes because she was just a total sweetheart. And then she didn't have any work, so she kept coming over every day, and I kept saying, you bring your swimsuit, go swimming in the pool if you want. And she'd say, all right, I'll come over swimming. And what she'd really do is end up helping me unpack. Not that I asked her to, but she's just one of those awesome, amazing, helpful people. Maybe I drew that energy to me because I was, looking maybe for a little bit of help. I never asked anybody, but there she just showed up and helped me because she's super awesome like that. Anyway, she had seen people come in and out of the house during that month telling me about the manifestations that we were working on. And eventually at the end, I said, man, you have done so much for me. What can I do for you? Can I do something awesome for you? Like, what do you need? And she said, gosh, I've seen all these people coming out of the manifestation thing that you teach. Like, she didn't know that I did this. And I never really talked about it with her, I think. And I said, well, I'll teach you. Like, let's sit down. Let me teach you manifestation. And she's like, really? Like right here, right now? I was like, yeah. So we sat down right at the picnic table and we began. Real quick, I saw some eyeballs coming in and out. You guys, if you're interested, there's a link in the description of this live to my brand new Manifest Financial Freedom crash course. So if you're interested in manifesting money, finances, changing your situation, bam, there's the link for you. Okay, so we sat down and we started manifesting, and I asked her what she wanted. And she's like, well, I've been, I haven't been working this whole month, but really I'm kind of enjoying it. And really all I want is to work on like a commercial, right? And I want to make all the money I would make in 1 month, okay? And I want to do it in like 2 days. Okay, so she'd be making this salary that nobody in the entertainment industry ever makes per day, but that's what she wanted. And I was like, all right, well, we'll manifest that. And she's like, you mean like you're just gonna use your little Harry Potter wand and like whip it up? And I was like, well, not exactly, but I'm gonna help you do that. So she was like, all right, I'm in. And she does hair in the entertainment industry. And so we started to do this system that I have. And I taught her all the manifestation tools that I created, plus any ones that you can read about in other books and, classes. And I told her, I said, but, you've been telling me this whole month that you've been helping me in my house. You told me how you haven't been on dates in a while, and you just, you'd really like to go out on a bunch of amazing dates where you're just treated like a princess, right? So I said, don't you want to like manifest that? And she was like, well, I don't know. I mean, I just want that salary. And I was like, yeah, but one salary, you're going to get that paycheck. We're going to manifest it. And then what? People usually, but I couldn't get her to agree to it. So I said, at least let me manifest like some dating for you, right? So she has a notorious laugh that if you hear it in a bar, like in the back of the bar, you hear it, it's her, like unmistakable. Everybody, in Venice knows her laugh. Anyway, so she gave me this crazy cackle, and she's like, all right, well, let's manifest him. So I said, boomerang, like, you're not only going to get the job that pays you this ridiculous amount of money for 2 days that you normally make for a whole month, but you're going to meet the guy that takes you on these amazing dates, and you're going to meet him on that production, or it's going to be part of that production. And she was like, oh, come on, that's insane, right? So we spent the rest of the night. I mean, I think we probably started around like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and she didn't leave my house till I think 1 in the morning. So we really sat there for some hours, and I basically took her through the step-by-step course. And when she left, she was pretty darn jazzed, I must say. So, I was psyched. I wanted to give back. She had helped me so much. I mean, she changed the cabinets in my kitchen, all kinds of crazy stuff that I needed help with. And so she called me the very next morning, and she said, Eve, I cannot believe this. Like, is this for real? And I was like, well, what happened? She's calling me at like 8 in the morning. She's like, I just got a call for a commercial. And it's the guys I just worked with, and they said that they wouldn't do the commercial unless I was the hair person. And so, normally they ask, will you work for this rate? And they tell you what the rate is. But in this case, they wouldn't do the commercial on the really famous guys unless she was the hair guy. So they said, well, what's your rate? So she just spewed out the amount that we manifested the night before, and they said, "All right, we'll send over the paperwork." And she said, "My jaw dropped. I just couldn't even believe this was real. How could this even be?" So anyway, it was really awesome. I was psyched for her. She's like, "Man, this stuff works," and she did the commercial. So anyway, it was about backyard around that pool that we just talked about. And my house was in awesome order because of her helping me get there. And we had the party was amazing, and live bands. We had some DJs. Like I think all of Venice Beach was there. It might have gone on for 2 days. I'm not sure. It just they couldn't shut it down. The cops couldn't even get in there. Like all of Venice was there. It was a really spectacular time. Good energy. Everybody, food was awesome. Really good music. And anyway, so a few days later, I think it's like 4 days later, she called me, and she's like, "Man, that was a great party." And I was like, "Yeah, thank you for coming. It was so spectacular, so many nice people and all that." And she's like, "Yeah, I met your friend so and so." And I said, "Oh yeah, he's such a great guy. I love that guy." And she's like, "He asked me out." And I was like, "Well, great, because he's a super awesome guy and he's super sweet." And she's like, "Yeah, it's like he, at your party, he basically asked me, all about me, and he asked me what I do, and I told him I do hair, for film and television, and he told me he writes commercials." And she's like, "That's weird. I actually just worked on a commercial." And he's like, "What commercial?" And she told him the commercial, and he's like, "I wrote that commercial." And she's like, "No." And she's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I'm calling you because I can't believe it. Like, we've been on 4 of the best dates back to back of my entire life. Nicest guy I've ever met my whole life. And he was actually part of the job that I got the money that we manifested. I can't believe how this turned out." Like, she expected to meet the guy while she was on set. Well, he was on set, but I think he was in a different area. He was with the director and stuff and working on the writing, and she just didn't meet him on set, but he was part of that commercial. And boom, like they're still friends today. I think that they just kind of had a whole dating thing. We never manifested that they have a full relationship, but that actually got her back into the dating scene. And now she's actually with someone really serious, and she hadn't dated in a while. So that's my awesome story for today, you guys. I think that basically she made a shift inside of herself doing the tools that I gave, how she was making them, and really what she believed. And by the end of it, she changed inside. And really, when I have these clients, like for the first 2 weeks, they change. When they stop doing the exercises, that's when your subconscious takes over and you go back to your old ways, right? But this is really what happened. And real quick, for all these different eyeballs I see coming in and out, there's a link to my new Manifest Financial Freedom crash course in the description of this live, so you can grab it there. If you're serious about changing your finances, boom, get into that class now. So to wrap this up, you guys, the idea is, like, how fast does it happen? The minute you truly change what you feel inside, well, anything can happen. And look at this girl. Like, we're talking about, 1 hour, she left my house, she went to sleep, woke up, she was awake for an hour, and this thing happened. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't take long of her awake time for this to happen. And oh, there's Martine. Hey, Martine. Yes, you do the exercises. I know you do. You were on that manifestation, girl. So that's the idea. You guys, if you're enjoying the lives, can you please share this on your wall for your friends, or share it to their wall? Hit I like or I love that. I love to see you guys in here. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments. I will answer them in the next live, or at least try to answer you while you're here if I can see them go by. And you guys are awesome. Manifest love today. Do not wait. Change your patterns and you will get what you want. Okay, that is really my big fat message for y'all today. And I hope you join me for my Manifest Financial Freedom crash course. I'll see you guys in a few hours on my next live.